Hello, this message, as you may have seen the title of this post stating, comes from Bournemouth. Oh, nice. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Where they make the most fantastic pizza. Pizza, no need for sauce. Thanks very much. Excellent. Anyway, this is, where am I? Aruba. And this is a pretty cool location. I'll be back for that in a minute. Just outside this door is one of the nicest beaches, I think, in the country. Broadchurch is up there. Christchurch. Broadchurch is the fictional TV drama. That is Bournemouth Pier. And this is... It's a bit like stepping into one of the major pubs you get in Newquay, except it's on the south coast, not in Cornwall. And what are we serenaded by at the moment? Primal Scream and Loaded, who asked the question back in, I think, 1991, just what is it that you want to do? Well, we want to be free. We want to have a good time. Yo, baby, let's go. And we want to get loaded. This spearheaded the rave generation, excuse me. Oh, that's good. Sometimes simplest pizzas are the best. Good old margarita. It's also the name of my favourite cocktail. Well, porn star. My second favourite cocktail. Anyway, why am I making this video? Well, I haven't done one for a couple of weeks, I don't think. It's been, I mentioned last time in the video, it's been an extraordinary month. It's been an amazing month. I was talking about September. October's pretty good so far. Because we're less than a week into October and something major's already happened that's been in the offing for a long time. More and more people are podcasting these days, and my good friend Tony Horn and I, a very good friend, he was an usher at my wedding, for instance, along with Mr. John Dovey. John, if you're watching this, give us a call, okay? Haven't heard from you for ages. Anyway, I've not since you went to Istanbul to be a top lawyer. Right. So, there has been interest from both sides of the Atlantic for Still in Love with the Ex. The debut episode of a podcast that Tony and I are now doing weekly. It's going to come out generally on Fridays, maybe sometimes on a Saturday or Sunday, but at the end of each week we'll get another episode. If we fit it into our schedules to record it and then for Tony to edit it. Still in Love with the Ex. Episode 2 is in the can. Episode 3 will be recorded soon. Episode 2 should drop, as they call it, soon. And within the next couple of days. Tony said he can't do this evening because he's got to go to Deacon Blue play, sadly. It's a hard life. Anyway. Concurrently with Still in Love with the Ex podcast, I'm going to do a personal podcast, is that a word? A video cast. Flashback Fridays. And episode 1 is this one. Why Bournemouth? Well, I just happen to be here for legal reasons. I mean, that's actually I'm helping out with a situation that I can't talk about. But it's brought me to Poole and Bournemouth. And the last time I was in this particular part of Bournemouth was in 1992. I've been to Bournemouth many times since. But my first visit to Bournemouth, as far as I know, don't think I went during my childhood. First video at the age of 22. I think I left Chiswick, where I was living at the time, at about 3 in the morning. Got down here at 5. Why? Because I was doing some work experience with BBC Radio outside broadcasts. Now, I just finished Leicester University, and there was a massive crowd on that day that gathered a few hours later for the Radio 1 breakfast show, as it was called. And it's now Radio 1's big weekend, but back then it was the 1FM breakfast show. And it was hosted by perhaps the most unnecessarily egotistical DJ I've ever met, Simon Mayo. Yeah. Anyway, joining on stage was future weather girl Diane Oxbury. Lovely person, tragically no longer with us. And Tony can tell you more about her, because I only knew her for one day, but he knew her for many years. Who else was there? KWS, remember them? No? Well, they hit top 10, possibly, I think even number 1, with their rather pointless but catchy cover version of Please Don't Go, and they performed that rather well to a backing track. I was working in the engineering side of the 1FM Roadshow, and I was in the production room, which was to the left of the stage. And I don't know if you've ever seen a mixing desk that you use for recording music or for live radio broadcasts, but you have all these buttons on it, all these knobs, and you get a series of buttons for each channel, so each microphone, each music source has a button called isolate, and if you press that, then you just hear what's coming through that channel and nothing else. So they were going out live on Radio 1, and one of the engineers pressed the isolation button, and so in the mixing room we then heard the duo KWS. I can't even remember what KWS stands for, but singing brilliantly in tune. Please Don't Go. I think it was the bridge. Anyway, brilliant. There were many guests on stage. It was incredibly hot. It was compulsory to wear shorts and t-shirts. One of the guests made the mistake of turning up in long trousers. Out came the scissors. The audience loved it. Snippy, snip, snip, snip. Around his trousers. It was brilliant. You had to be there. You probably weren't there, but I think about 3 or 4 million heard it on the radio. Kerry Harman in Southampton, you were listening, I remember. In the audience, Chris Bignell and his friend Dave. Chris Bignell was a bit of a legend at the University of Exeter back in 91-92. He was guild president, and then he decided to become the self-proclaimed saviour of University Radio Exeter, which he briefly renamed Good Shout Radio. Not the best move, but it paved the way to what then became Expression FM. It was already one of the greatest student radio stations in the country. First station ever to go FM. They were all medium wave in the 70s and 80s. In 1991, 9th to 23rd of November, we went FM, special event broadcast, not just to the campus, but to the whole of Exeter and beyond. I was doing evenings. I was alternating with John the Frog. I think I did Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. He did Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And we got a call, allegedly, from a monitoring station in Bielefeld, Germany. And they picked us up. People were driving down the M5, listening to us. The taxi drivers, every taxi driver I spoke to, were locked in for 2 weeks to the Children of Need special event broadcast. It was great. Anyway, more about that in future episodes of Still in Love with the X. I can have this before it gets cold. And I might post another video, take a little walk around outside and show you where the broadcast came from. It's great to be back. Cheers. Meanwhile, speaking to 53-year-olds, but one who tries to keep up to date with music, have you heard the new Doja Cat album? She's just been confirmed number 1 for the 5th week in the singles chart. Amazing stuff. Paper Town Red. sort of sums up how a lot of the nation are feeling at the moment. Check it out.